from Teaching Exceptional Kinders, and today I'd like to dive into a few of my favorite back-to-school read-alouds for kindergarten. Let me show you. As you can see behind me, I have a ton of books that I love to read at the beginning of the school year, and it's hard to narrow down to decide what will be a good fit for your class and your lessons and what you can fit into a day's time. I've mentioned this before, but if you're new around here, I taught in a half-day program, so I had 2.5 hours to get done what everyone else has a full day to get done. And so I had to be a little bit creative, and I had to be selective on what materials we chose. So these are some of my favorite books. All right, this is Miss Bindergarten Gets Ready for Kindergarten. This is a tried and true favorite classic. I've read it since my very first year in kindergarten because my teammate that year gave it to me. And one of my friends was a former kindergarten teacher, and so she gave me a box of her books that she didn't need anymore. And this was one of the recommendations. It's super cute. Miss Bindergarten is the dog here. And she's getting ready for school, and it's relatable. Like, she goes through things that teachers are going through, like not wanting to get up on the first day, and how she gets ready on the first day. And she's got her little parrot sidekick, and overflowing back to school things. Relatable, right? And then it gets through the kids, and the kids in the story are all animals, which kindergartners love, and they all start, you can see, with a letter of the alphabet. So Adam, Brenda, Christopher, and it goes through, and there's A to Z letters of all the students, which is a fun way to also incorporate letters in back to school. So she goes through and she gets ready for kindergarten, and then the last page is Yay, Let the Fun Begin, which is perfect for kindergarten. So it's kind of a nice intro book. I used to have a worksheet from the mailbox. If anybody is familiar, before Teachers Pay Teachers existed, the mailbox was around, and we used to get our worksheets from there. You don't need a worksheet. You can just read to read. It is fun to do that too. All right, so that's book number 1, my all-time favorite for the first beginning of kindergarten. And then there are other books, like when Miss Bindergarten Gets Sick, and there's a Miss Bindergarten Celebrates the End of Kindergarten, and there's a 100th Day book, so it's kind of nice, like you can revisit Miss Bindergarten and her friends throughout the school year. Next up, another tried and true book is The Kissing Hand. Some years I got tired of The Kissing Hand, just to be perfectly honest with you, and so I didn't always read this one, but it is a good one, especially if you have some anxious kiddos coming in and you want to calm their nerves. Chester the raccoon is nervous about missing his mom at school, and so she puts a kiss in his hand, and he keeps it for the day to remember her. And some teachers I know have had parents kiss a handprint, and the pictures are cute too. And mom's just reassuring him the whole time. But anyway, I was saying some teachers have their kids kiss a handprint and keep that in their folders or something like that, so they can revisit mom and dad and see the kiss in their hand. And that's kind of nice. I never took the time to do that. But they made something like that. We did one year make a couple years actually, make a Chester face out of hearts. And it was super cute to put up in the hallway too. It looked like this. I'll put a picture right here for you to see, and they were cute. So just an easy to do craft that goes along with calming some anxiety the first week of school. Next up, The Pigeon Has to Go to School by Mo Willems. This is one of my new favorites that I read the last year or two that I was in kindergarten. It's such a fun introduction to Mo's books. The pigeon is in here. There's the Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus. There's all kinds of fun ones. And this book, it's just fun to read too. Like, wait, don't read that title. And it's just fun. You know, because it sounds like the pigeon's really telling the story. The words are big and bold, and the pictures are easy. What will happen at school? He's scared. Totally relatable for your young kids. And then by the end, he says this a lot, then by the end, he's ready to go to school. And so it's kind of a nice story to do that way and introduce his books, especially if you're a Mo fan, and then you can read the Elephant and Piggy books and all the other fun books that kindergartners love. Book number 5 is sort of not as traditional as the others. This is called Giraffes Can't Dance. It is about this giraffe who has trouble dancing like all the other animals. And there's poor Gerald. You know, he just wasn't really able. He's good at a lot of things, but when he tried to dance, it just didn't work. But there was a jungle dance, and he was sad because he was really bad at it, and he really wanted to be with all the other animals. And he saw what all the other animals could do, but he couldn't do it. And then, spoiler alert, by the end of the story, he is able to dance. And it's great to teach growth mindset and the power of yet. And just because we can't do it now doesn't mean we won't be able to do it at some point. And it's a great segue to your hopes and dreams in kindergarten and setting goals. And that can be difficult for kindergarten students at the beginning of the year, but it is good for them, especially to exercise. Just, I can't do this now, but I hope that I can do it later. And they'll come up with all sorts of things like cartwheels and diving off the diving board and all, but some of them will say things like reading or adding numbers or tying my shoes, all things that they may very well learn to do in kindergarten. So it's kind of a nice segue to that. And it's a cute, well-written story with great pictures. Book number 5 is one of my all-time favorites. It's my favorite alphabet book, Chicka, Chicka, Boom, Boom. If you are not familiar with this story, it's super fun. All the letters, it's nice bold colors, and illustrations are fun too. But in this story, the lowercase letters climb up the coconut tree. And when they all get up there, it gets too heavy and they crash. And then their moms and dads come and save the day. Sorry, I flipped out of order. See, their moms and dads come save the day, and then they contemplate going up again, or they think about it at the end. So it's a fun story. I have a really fun craft that looks like this. Swear I'll get better at this. That looks like this. It's included in my first week of kindergarten plans. It's a fun name craft that looks really cute on a bulletin board with the story Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. There's also some fun brain breaks that you can find on YouTube, as well as a Scholastic animated story of Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, which is great for like the Friday afternoon of the first week of school when everyone's exhausted but you still want to end on a positive note. It's a good one to keep in the back of your mind there. All right, that was book number 5. Now let's chat about some of my other favorites that you can see back here. Some of my other favorites. Pete is hiding over here. But Pete the Cat is always a great one. It's got a good rhythm, a good rhyme, a good song in there, rocking his school shoes. It ties in nicely if you're doing a school tour because he goes around the school. So that's a good option there. You can see the Recess Queen. That's good, maybe not for the first week of school, but a little bit later in school. She's mean at recess and everyone's afraid of her. And then, of course, in the book, she turns it around and everyone gets to know her better and understands her better. And then she's not so mean. Amanda Panda Quits Kindergarten is a cute one about a little panda who's not sure she really wants to do this kindergarten gig. So just a fun read aloud. Lacey Walker, Nonstop Talker. Again, maybe not the first week of school. So good. About a little owl, and the pictures are really fun. About Miss Lacey Walker, who loses her voice because she liked to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And when she loses her voice and stops talking, she realizes all the fun things she was missing because she wouldn't stop talking before. So that's a fun one. Cute pictures, good message, and good lesson for kids as well. All Are Welcome is great. All Are Welcome is great for the first week of school, I think. And just awesome illustrations. and just talking about how everyone, no matter who you are, what you look like, where you come from, what your traditions are, you're all welcome here at school. So that's always a great message to send. No, David is one that can be popular. It is not one of my favorites. It's actually one I probably would not recommend because David just gets in trouble a lot, and you don't want to demonstrate that it's a good thing or a fun thing to get in trouble. So that's one I usually steer clear of. Clifford Goes to Kindergarten and Pout Pout Fish Go to School are great for familiar characters and just a fun way to tie them in to the beginning of school. Kindergarten Rocks is a cute one, about how great kindergarten is. It's one you can get usually fairly inexpensive on Scholastic or Amazon. This is one that we have given to our kindergarten students at like the kindergarten orientation or meet the teacher day because it can be fairly inexpensive. Clifford Goes to Kindergarten is another one of those. And I have two more. So The Little Engine That Could, just tried and true about perseverance, right? Like you can keep trying, you can do anything you put your mind to in kindergarten, and teaching them that word perseverance and how to be strong and keep trying is so important. So The Little Engine That Could is a great way to do that. And another one that actually I kind of like even better than The Little Engine That Could, but it's a very similar message, is called The Most Magnificent Thing. I like this one because magnificent is a fun word to teach kindergartners, and this little lady is just trying to build the most magnificent thing with her little dog. And they try and they try and they try and they try, and she gets frustrated and discouraged, and she just keeps trying. But she says, I'm no good at this, I quit. And her assistant suggests a walk. So talking about how to cope with those feelings as well in there. And then at the end, we go through and she's created the most magnificent thing, a little sidecar for her assistant. So it's just about not giving up, and that sometimes the most magnificent thing is right in front of your face and you just didn't even know it. So that's a good message for kindergartners as well. Again, maybe not the very first week of school because it's a little heavy, but definitely in the first month or so. All right, those are my favorites for the beginning of kindergarten. I'd love to hear yours down in the comments. I am Amy at Teaching Exceptional Kinders. You can get me at my email address, which is amy@teachingexceptionalkinders.com. You can find me on Instagram at Teaching Exceptional Kinders and Facebook at the same address. If this video was helpful, please like and subscribe. That lets YouTube know that other kindergarten teachers might enjoy it too. Until next time, have an exceptional day.